welcome to the program Spotlight on Catholic Television of Nigeria. My name is Tony Abba. Today we have a very important guest in the studio. He is Chief Daniel Onyeka Chuke. He is a former minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, a Knight of St. John, and a devout Catholic. With him, we will be discussing issues that borders on religion, politics, and the roles of traditional leaders in our society. Sir, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Moy. Thank you very much, Tony.
Yes. First thing first, I would like you to tell us some of the roles. I learned you're a Knight of St. John International. You are a noble in the order. So can you take us through the role of the Knights in the Catholic Church?
Thank you very much, Tony. You know, when the Knights of St. John's was founded in the 12th century, and then later on, after the Crusades, was, if you like, refounded in America. The role in the ancient times was for the Knights, to help to protect the Catholic Church using what was available to them at that time, which was guns and arms. Now, the reinvented Knight of St. John's have passed that stage.
Okay.
The role now is to help in evangelization, help promote the Catholic Church through evangelization and good works. So this is the role the Knights play these days, mainly evangelization, through prayers, through activities, that portray the Catholic Church in a good way. And this way, get the members of the church and non-members to see the Knight of St. John as a way to promote the church, Christianity. The name Knight of St. John was adopted because our patron saint is John the Baptist. And John the Baptist lived a life of humility, a life of modesty. And this is what the Knights are trying to emulate. Humility, modesty, respect, for Constitution, respect for moral and ethical rights, standards. So this way, they try to improve the image of the church. They also help the church in where they can, in terms of infrastructure, helping the church, to develop infrastructure. Recently, last year, the Archbishop of Abuja commissioned a church which was built by the Knight of St. John's in Kuchiko, somewhere, Buare area of FCT. We say at the end of every meeting to remind our members that the world looks up to Knight of St. John. And from our behavior, they can even judge the church, the Catholic Church especially, from our behavior and our works. So we are very conscious of that. And therefore, we try as much as possible to live lives that can be emulated. We are not saints. We are human beings. So naturally, there are mistakes here and there, as expected in any human endeavor. Because I think it was Roosevelt, the President of America, who said that no human effort is perfect. And therefore, we are not perfect. We are human beings after all. So there are mistakes here and there. But we aspire to be good. We are running the race for heaven. So we aspire, as far as human effort can carry us, to live exemplary life, exemplary Christian lives. For our every meeting, we not only say the rosary, but usually there's a mass, before every meeting, to help God, to help us ask God to take control of whatever we say and do. So this, in a nutshell, is Night of St. John, and our objectives and our efforts at evangelization and promoting the Catholic Church.
Okay, there's this school of thought that believes that for you to join the Night of St. John, you must be a money banker, you must be somebody who is wealthy, and there's no room for a commoner or somebody who doesn't have money. Where is the place of money in this order?
This is not really true. This is one of those things that are said by people who are not inside and who are not properly initiated. There is no. It is not really compulsory that you have to be well off. Many of us are not well off. I'm not well off. But, in every human organization or society, especially in this part of the world, you cannot ignore the condition of your fellow members. You try to help fellow members when they are in financial trouble, like when they are sick, like when they have some form of catastrophe, like their house gets burned down, Just like in any society, you have to try and help them, to re-establish themselves. This is what we do. Just like we help also other less privileged people in the society and in the church, like widows, like orphans. Sometimes we visit, orphanages, to help, to give them gifts, help one way or the other. If a member is sick, we visit the member. And depending on the ability and the capability of members, we can take care of the hospital bills, we can contribute in paying the hospital bills, sometimes all the bills, sometimes, as far as that particular commandery can go, or that particular night. Membership. No, membership is not very expensive.
Is it open to everybody, or you have to meet some criteria, especially in the financial aspect, before you become a member?
No. It's open to everybody. You don't have to have any. There's no fixed amount. There's no membership, fee as such. If you are initiated in some commanderies, they expect you to appreciate, your initiation into the new organization. You offer whatever you can, If it's 5,000 you have, you can donate 5,000. If it's 10,000 you can donate 10,000. If you are well off and you want to to do more, you're well and good. Because after all this money is used, you know, for, like I say, for the benefit of the church, benefit of members, benefit of members of the entire community or people in any walks of life. When we visit old people's home or when we visit, you know, less privileged homes, you know, or orphanages, you know, we don't look at whether they are Catholics even or not. You know, everybody there benefits from whatever we're able to provide. So everybody, there's no financial, if you like, you know,
no
benchmark.
So anybody,
you know, anybody can come.
And say, okay,
Once you meet, exactly, that's all. Once you meet the other requirements, first of all, you know, we have conditions, you know, that you will not be a member of a secret society, for example. You are supposed to be living happily with your spouse, and the family is in a good practicing Catholic practicing family. And that's all that is required. You don't have any history that is questionable, that might be an embarrassment to the other. These are the things that we normally check. But there is no financial benchmark, like you said,
okay,
you know, required. Yes.
Okay. We have to go a little bit away from the Night of St. John, which I know you're a member, and go into our national life.
Mm-hmm.
By next year, if we come February, we'll be going to the polls. What is your impression of the forthcoming election? What are you saying? What are the politicians telling the electorate?
Well, first of all, I like to say, you know, that I belong to the school of thought that feels that what is really more important than election next year is a restructuring of the policy so that every part of the country is involved. You see, we are now living in the 22nd century where there should be freedom of opinion, freedom of aspiration. I believe that every Nigerian should be able to aspire to rise as much as God wants him to. Leadership should not be left to only some particular, you know, ethnicity in Nigeria. And I believe the restructuring the country is more important at this stage of life. And this is the bane of the country. This is the cause of all the problems we have had in this country so far. That most people do not have the opportunity to aspire to as much as they should be able to. That is basic thing. We need to restructure the country. Let's restructure the polity to give everybody a chance.
Okay, we'll be taking a short break. Now, when we come back, we'll be
Yeah.
talking more on this aspect of our national life, the politics of our country.
Yeah.
Dear viewers, the program is still Spotlight on Catholic Television of Nigeria, and I've been speaking to Chief Daniel Onyeka Ksji, Chief Daniel Onyeka Chuke, a politician, and a former minister of the Federal Republic, and above all, a Knight of St. John International and a devout Catholic. Stay tuned, we'll be right back, don't go away. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, the program is still Spotlight on Catholic Television of Nigeria, and we'll be discussing various issues with Chief Daniel Onyeka Chuke. Sir, before we went on that break, you were talking about restructuring to give people the opportunity to aspire to whatever height they want to aspire to. Now, we have a particular situation in our country as I speak with you now. A certain political party chose a certain religion for both the president and the vice president. Some people say it is an affront on Christians in the north. Do you believe that?
Not only to Christians in the north, I think it's to the entire country. You see, this is the problem I have been talking about before. The total disregard of moral and ethical rights by the leadership, by any leadership, breeds arrogance of power. And in its wake, impunity. What they're doing is total impunity. We have a constitution of in this country that talks about things like geographical spread, things like federal character in every appointment and everything this country does, to give every part of this country a sense of belonging. This particular party that has now decided, to have both their presidential candidate and his running mate from one particular religion is from this ruling party, which we are talking about, that has
the APC.
The APC, that has abandoned moral and ethical, standards, and has led them to impunity in whatever they do. This country is a secular state. And all the while, all the various governments have respected the fact that there are two major religions in this country: the Christian religion and the Muslim religion. And it's all part of this giving a sense of belonging that all previous governments have had the two religions represented in the hierarchy of government. That is, if the president is a Christian, then the vice president is a Muslim. And vice versa, if the president is a Muslim, then the vice president is a Christian. That has been the case all the time, to show that this is a secular state where every religion has a say. So their present arrangement is definitely not acceptable.
So what do we do?
Well, the only thing left to Christians to do is try and ensure that that arrangement is not allowed, to become a reality come 2023 by using the power of their votes, if the votes will count this time. But that's about all they can do.
Okay, talking about the balancing and the federal character and the restructuring you're proposing, there is this school of thought that believe that there has been a calculated attempt to really make the southern part of Nigeria not to have a shot to the presidency for a very long time with this calculation. Now, the APC have zoned their ticket to the south. PDP zoned their ticket to the north. If the PDP candidate wins, it will mean that the APC and PDP have produced two northern presidents back to back. And in the next election, the PDP will zone their ticket to the south, then APC zone their ticket to the north. And if it wins, that means the southern part of Nigeria will be there for a long time without a shot to the presidency. Are you in agreement with that?
Well, the scenario you have described is possible. It is possible. But again, like I said, the South and the lovers of peace and equity in the country should try as much as possible to make sure that this situation does not become a reality, like I said. Because I think, that as long as one part of the country feels, that they are being, if you like, calculated out, if you like, of the equation, there will never be peace, tranquility, and the efforts wasted in this kind of bickering and anarchy could be used in actually developing the country if there's peace and tranquility. So I think it's an ill wind that blows nobody any good. At the end of the day, it is the country that will suffer. Because if there is no peace in the country, if there's no harmony, peace, there will not be development to the level that everybody wants it, expects it. It is sad to think, that way back in the 60s, before independence and sometime thereafter, Nigeria was ahead of the Asian tigers, Malaysia and rest of them, in terms of development. But now look at where we are. We don't seem to have progressed at all. Whereas the Asian tigers, Malaysia, Singapore, if you like, Korea, South Korea, Indonesia, you just go to these places and find the progress they have made. Tremendous progress they have made. And we have nothing to show for our 60 years of independence. Nothing really to show.
Okay, now Some people believe that it is time for the young people to take back their country in 2023.
Yeah.
What would be your message to the young people as their elections approaches?
Well, my message is that they should continue to mobilize themselves, mobilize their votes, and not only mobilize their votes, but also protect their votes after voting to ensure, that they can take back their country. The future belongs to the young, belongs to the youth. And even us who are now elderly, with our gray hair, I would like to think that my grandchildren will have a better country, that we have a Nigeria they can be proud of. They have a Nigeria they would like to stay in, not run away to America, Canada, Europe, all over the world. Nigerians are now running away even to faraway places, like Australia, New Zealand, anywhere. But to leave Nigeria, we must stop this drift from Nigeria and create a Nigeria that they be happy to stay in and work in and be proud of.
Okay, finally, do you think the traditional rulers have a role to play in peace building in Nigeria, especially in their community?
I think they do. I think they do. They do, because the people at the grassroots look up to the traditional rulers. In most places, the traditional rulers, have a lot of charisma. And you don't become a chief, just by asking. You become a chief, because at least in my place, Obosi, in Anambra State, where I come from, before you become a chief, all your inner family will agree that you will be the chief to represent them. And when you become the chief, you become, by virtue of becoming the chief, become the eldest in that family. Even if there are many, who are older than you in age. But traditionally, become the eldest. You break the collar when you're all gathered for a meeting. You are the person to break the collar. You are the person who can rally them around, and discuss issues, get their opinions, and they carry the opinions, to the cabinet. So the traditional rulers have a big role to play because they can mobilize the youths at the grassroots. They can mobilize the villagers, the market women, the farmers, everybody in that community. They listen to the traditional rulers. So they have a lot of,
Thank you very
they have
much.
a lot of part to play.
This is where we will be dropping the anchor for today.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming to the program.
Thank you very much, Tony. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure indeed. Yes. Thank you.
Well, viewers, this is where we come to the end of the program for today. We'll be speaking to Chief Daniel Onyeka Chuke. He is a former minister of the Federal Republic, a Knight of St. John, and a devout Catholic. And we have been discussing issues on politics, religion, and the traditionals too. Join us same time, same station next week as we bring you yet another interesting personality on this program. My name is Tony Abba. Stay blessed and bye for now.